Everybody to our Canadian Highlander, or Canlander for short, exhibition match. We have everybody to our Canadian I'm hearing myself. Don't do that. We have JadeEmpress piloting Mardu Pyro, which is a deck that I'm not familiar with because I do not play Mardu.
It's based on the card Young Pyromancer. Hi, I'm Aqua.
Welcome Aqua, and I'm
Which
Panda.
makes creatures whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell.
Yes.
So it pairs cards that care about casting instant sorcery spells with uh, cheap and efficient ones like Unearth, Thoughtseize, Path to Exile, etc.
Yeah, and then we have Swonk on a Jeskai list. Which has a lot of planeswalkers in it. It's not
Yeah,
quite Super Friends, but we do have 9 here, and they're just kind of the normal good ones that you see.
it's a pretty typical Jeskai control list with win conditions of planeswalkers. hmm
Yeah. So opening hands here, what do you feel like? Obviously, both of them have had to mulligan at least once.
Yeah.
Who do you feel like has the stronger opener here?
Swonk by a mile. Uh, Jade is on a 5 card hand on the play, and Lightning Helix is almost a dead card in the matchup.
Yeah,
This
unfortunately.
Thoughtseize won't hit anything relevant. Swonk is sitting here with gas removal and more gas. I I think that Chandra resolving is Jade's best way to win this game. But
But it is going to be
well,
hard when
there's an
negate
Ursa
is in
Saga.
hand.
That one's pretty good. That card beats counter magic, I hear.
Ursa Saga, yeah, that is a pretty good card. So good that it's played in like most vintage decks.
It's played in every format that it's legal in.
Yeah.
Yeah, so what do you take if you're Jade here?
I feel like you get rid of, well, you mentioned you want the Chandra to resolve here, right?
hmm
So I feel like even
I
though it's
think now
going
I
to
want to be more
resolve,
all in on the Urza Saga. I don't think
yeah,
that I
that's
care about
true.
Chandra as
I
much
think
now.
I think I agree there. I feel like if you're hitting something here, it does feel like Swonk doesn't have a ton of gas, right? Like in hand.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
It feels like you could maybe try to just play it slower. Maybe you let the Chandra just get hit by a negate or a prismatic or something. And yeah, I was gonna say, and you target the Sphinx's revelation so that the Swamp can't draw at all to maybe try to dig out of this like hole now. Because once Urza Saga hits the third tick, uh, what can we grab here off of that if
Find
we're
out.
Jade?
Mishra's Bauble, all 3 of the on-color Moxen,
Yep.
Niall Spellbomb, Shadow Spear, or Skull Clamp.
Skull Clamp is obviously great with the Pyromancer.
hmm
So could see that depending on the draw, but yeah, I definitely think I like the discarding the Sphinx's revelation. I think that makes a lot of sense. You just make sure sorry Cambar, I can't change the size, but I'm gonna try to hover over the cards for long. Um I think forcing the discard there makes a lot of sense because now you're just playing for Urza Saga, and you kind of have the advantage. You're just hoping that Swank doesn't draw into something,
Mm.
and it doesn't seem like
I think
Swank has yet.
I would have taken the Electrolyze because it is a very impactful card much sooner than Revelation. It kills a contract token here and
Yes,
replaces itself, whereas Rev needs 2 or 3 more turns to be relevant.
yeah, that's true. It does take longer for it to matter, and we are going to see one of these constructs come out now. We're going to see it here, and then probably at the start of the next turn, we're going to see another construct before the Urza Saga sacrifices itself.
hmm
Collective Brutality is not a card I am particularly familiar with. It looks like it's one of those not modal cards, but you know what I mean. It has a lot of modes.
It's part of the escalate cycle from Eldritch Moon. Other ones cost mana. This one discards cards,
Right.
but it destroys creatures. It drains your opponent. It duresses them. For instance, this card just has 3 modes, and one of them will always be relevant, and they turn your bad cards into other modes on it. Like you'll often see this card being played against mono red to kill a creature and gain 2 life.
Yeah. I mean that makes a lot of sense. We do see the construct does die to the
Yeah.
electrolyze, like we mentioned. We get Sunbaked Canyon, which is probably just going to get played to draw the card because we are still looking for gas here on Swank's end.
Jade misses her land drop this turn, but
Yes.
I wonder if that is a sign for Swonk to prismatic ending the contra token.
We'll have to see. We are still waiting to see what Jade decides to tutor for with the saga. We might see a Mox maybe
It could be Mox
cast the
Ruby,
Chandra.
because
Yeah.
I can cast Chandra on the next turn, but
And not only that, but well, I guess anything would buff the construct here. Anything that you could tutor for, yeah. So we'll find the Ruby, probably Chandra next turn. I imagine that's going to have make Swank keep mana open to negate it.
well, Swonk is using the mana anyways, right? If after Swonk endings this construct, yeah, Jade is going for the Rocks Ruby to cast a Chandra the next turn, but after Swonk kills this construct, whether it be with the bolt or the ending, he'll have enough mana to cast negate. He's not using that for anything else this turn.
Yeah.
Swonk thinks about fetching here. Ups to not fetch. And looks like we'll be seeing a lightning bolt instead of a prismatic ending.
I feel
So
like
here
that
Jade can
that makes
cast
sense.
Brutality,
Keep the lightning bolt or keep
maybe
the
discarding the Lightning Helix, because that card isn't really doing a lot in the Jeskai matchup.
oh yeah, I definitely think that lightning helix is somewhat dead, and the collective brutality here uh could help over top of that.
And then Swonk gets to take a 2-for-1 with his negate, but can't negate the Chandra. I feel pretty confident that Brutality discarding Helix is the play here from Jade.
See the triumph and the ruby. Yep, brutality. Pitch a card or
No, just the 1 mode.
just one.
Brotherhood's End here, a new card from the Brothers War, is commonly seen as an Anger of the Gods variant, but also has the other mode of destroying artifacts that cost 3 or less, which in this case is the Mox Ruby and the Construct token, which would be pretty backbreaking for JadeEmpress here.
Yeah, that would be very good. I think. I mean, it seems to me like the negate is obviously the play there, and then you prismatic ending or bolt the Chandra. Probably not bolt because it is going to sit out of bolt range.
Oh wow,
Unless oh Palace
Palisade is
Cherry,
so good.
that is
Taking the
very nice.
Monarchy and killing a Contract token here is
Just finally having like some sort of creature on the board. Although Lightning Helix is going to be able to deal with it.
it's not even that. It's just the fact that you have the Monarchy in the game now. You're
That is
drawing 2
true.
cards a
Yeah.
turn over your opponent. I think if I'm Swank here, I would rather Prismatic Ending the Mox Ruby because my opponent has missed their Highlander up for a few turns.
Yeah, that could definitely
I'd
be
rather,
a good play.
I'd
Yeah.
rather keep them on 2 mana. Here, Jade gets to play the Chandra, make 2 elementals, and take the Monarchy.
We'll see if that is the play. It definitely makes the most sense.
Looks like it is, yeah.
Yeah, 2 elementals.
Swonk has a lightning bolt for one of them. Can block the other.
Bolt and block. Yep. So both the elementals will be killed. Still prismatic
Swonk
ending,
keeps the monarchy.
which is going to be pretty useful in this
Swonk throws a
situation.
fractured entity here, which can steal the Chandra. And I think taking the Chandra and maybe still ending the Mox is enough to wrap up the game. I don't see a way out for Jade here.
Yeah, unfortunately, Jade cannot cast the Void
Yeah, we
Walker
are gonna
or
end the
the
Mox now.
Hymn. Yeah.
They're both little lot cards with the mana base of now in Dotha Triome and Basic Mountain.
Yeah. Not exactly great.
Swunk will draw another card with the Spell Shiller in his end step. Now he's considering attacking or playing around a haste creature, I assume. Stacking with the elemental tokens.
Lightning
Then he
Heat.
is
Oh, Plateau.
drawing cards with
Another
the Monarchy
land.
trigger. More lands.
Elite Spellbinder.
Jade drew an uncastable here.
Yeah. So, right now, all Jade can cast is Swords or Lightning Helix. And neither are particularly useful.
This Wasteland from Swunk is really huge.
Oh, yeah. Puts you down to 1 land. That's
Black source.
basically
And it's not your
GG's.
black source.
Yeah.
Canlander, interesting enough, isn't a format that has sideboards in it. You're playing the same 100 card singleton deck in
Yep.
all 3 of your games. So this will be, well, hopefully we get more of a game in the next game. But
Yep.
this
Game
game has
2.
been a
Yeah.
bit of a non-game.
Definitely feels that way. I mean, when you get I mean, I don't even think Jade knew about the Wasteland, right? It never got played. So
No, didn't get played.
so
Jade scooped for the Sphinx Revelation.
yeah. Skull Clamp is nice. Esper Sentinel is nice.
Yeah, Jade's hand here is almost the nuts into the matchup. Turn 1 hand attack plus playing an Esper Sentinel.
Inquisition of Kozilek
hmm
just lets you see what they're going to get, especially because you play first.
Yeah, and it'll take any of the cards in Swank's hand here.
Yeah.
Jade's hand is easily a snap keep.
Oh
I
yeah.
don't think I would keep Swank's hand. Doesn't really do a lot of things.
Plains
Neither
Plateau,
the Arcanist
Arcanist,
or
yeah.
the Urza have text on them because there aren't spells.
Yeah.
The Ashiok is more of a supporting card in this archetype than an enabler. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we're
probably
gonna
gonna
see
lock.
them all again, yeah. Interestingly, Canadian Highlander does not have the free mulligan that Commander does, right?
Yeah, that's correct. Swank's
So,
gonna go to 6 here.
despite the fact that it is a 100 card singleton in a very similar way, but
No, it's still a 1v1 competitive format.
yep.
It's closer to Singleton Vintage than it is to Commander.
Mm. Closer. Not quite there, but very much closer.
Yeah. Start
Let's
with
see.
Mox Pearl.
Mox Pearl probably for the what's it called? Esper
Esper
Sentinel
Sentinel.
first, in case maybe
In case Swank wants to force the
yeah,
Inquisition of Kozilek.
force the
Yeah.
Inquisition, yeah. Which is it's a great play around considering that Jade doesn't even know about the force in hand until after the reveal.
Yeah.
It's also very easy to you could have a world where you play the Mox Pearl and wait for the response just to see if maybe they'll counter the Mox Pearl, thinking that it'll mana screw you even though you have 2 lands in hand.
Nah, you'll never counter the Mox Pearl.
Uh, some people might.
Are you saying you would?
Oh, absolutely not. I wouldn't, but I've seen people make mistakes. So Abrade
That's
is the
true.
target here. Gets rid of any threat against the Esper Sentinel now.
Yeah, you're choosing between a Braid or Force Negation.
Yeah.
And a Braid is the way, or one of the ways that um, Swonk has of beating a Skull Clamp.
Yes.
If you force negation it, at least it's still a 2-for-1.
Yeah, and here comes Skull Clamp. Yeah, no response. I mean, otherwise you have to pitch Fire and Ice, which is
Or
not
Teferi.
great. Yeah, or Teferi, which is also not great. Although Teferi, we're still a ways away from getting 5 mana at the moment.
Yeah. But the real issue is that Jade would draw a card at the Esper Sentinel.
And we definitely don't want that. If we're Swonk, we don't want any more card draw. We don't want them refilling their hand whatsoever.
Pretty good draw from Swonk. That means that he gets to play a land and Chain Lightning the Esper Sentinel while paying for it, so it doesn't replace itself. Then it can't get Skull Clamped, and Jade's hand becomes pretty dead.
Yeah. See, Tundra is the fetch target here. Sacred Foundry, yep. Chain Lightning, the Esper Sentinel.
And
Nothing
then
to...
pay for the trigger.
Yep, pays
Mm-hmm.
for it. And then it destroys the Esper Sentinel.
Now Jade's from the back foot again here. She needs to draw a creature.
Yeah. Or something to... No, that's not...
That's where that goes. Good job. Or Minsk and Boo. It's a pretty good draw, I think.
Yes. Well, I mean, when is it not?
It'll get force negations, right? But it's
It's
still a
still...
2-for-1.
It's still a 2-for-1, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, I don't think I've ever had a context where Minsk and Boo was a bad draw unless you already had one out on the field, which is not going to happen in Canlander. See here what the draw
I
is.
believe this is end of turn. End of
Yeah.
Swank's turn.
No,
But
it's the end of Jade's turn. I believe Jade missed a draw step. Oh, okay.
alright.
It
Just a
was
slight
yeah.
miscommunication.
You're right. It was Swank's end of turn. Now it is Jade's turn. Untap, keep draw. If you're Swank here,
Mm-hmm.
and you have to pitch a card, which do you pitch? Fire and Ice or Teferi?
Very easily.
Yeah. Is that just because you don't have the mana to get to it for a while?
Yeah,
Or
it's because we're not casting anytime soon, and Fire Ice has text on it, whereas Teferi doesn't. Teferi will likely not be impactful this game.
yeah. Sabine's Reclamation does get the uh Esper Sentinel back.
Mm-hmm. I assume Swank will force this.
So I'm thinking about it. Fire and Ice. Fire could take it out, but uh not before Jade can Skull Clamp it.
Mm-hmm.
If Jade does it this turn, which I imagine she will.
Would you here? You want to skull clamp this?
I think you do just for the 2 cards. Otherwise, you have a pretty dead hand. You know that there's a Fire and Ice in hand. I think you do it right away. Yeah, I don't see a world where you don't want the 2 cards.
I think so too. Yeah. If Swank gets to untap, it's assuredly dying to fire.
Yeah, and you don't even get. It's not like you get anything else out of it. You don't get to swing with it. You get 1 card draw off the Fire and Ice. If you don't think Swank has a land in hand, obviously we know Swank has a Polluted Delta in hand. But even
Mm-hmm.
still, it just seems much better to clamp it and get the 2 cards.
Yeah, we're past the stage of the game where S% null is the relevant magic card.
Yeah, very much so. It's not, like you mentioned before, it's not a multiplayer format. This thing isn't triggering 20 times. It
Mhm.
triggers, in this case, once, and then it gets paid for.
Yeah.
So we will see the skull clamp getting attached. Nothing really to respond with if you're Swonk anyways. Tainted
Who draws
Pact.
Tainted Pact, which is really strong.
That is
Renin 6
nice.
is less good without a green source.
Mm,
Um,
yes, we
but
don't have source.
this Tainted Pact is it represents a lot of things.
Yeah, I mean it's basically a demonic tutor. Or
Kind of.
kind of. It's less a demonic tutor and it's more like that other card that I can't think of the name of now. It's one black.
Demonic Consultation.
Demonic Consultation, thank you, yes.
Mhm.
Bone Crusher Giant.
I think
Uh
if I'm Jade here, I want to play the giant, just hardcast the giant and put a flip
yeah.
on it. I want to just have a 5/2. If it gets iced, then I draw 2 cards. My opponent takes 2 damage, or fired. Sorry,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's a very quick clock.
I don't think there's any point in stomping with it. We do see the Taint Impact instead. I imagine this has to get forced, right?
Um, Probably. Swonk can also take the mindset of just force what they get with it, which
Yeah,
is
true.
good if Jade finds a spell and bad if Jade finds a creature. But most creatures in Jade's deck die to fire, so it's not that bad. Don't think I mind letting this resolve.
Well, Swank is still thinking about it. I mean, this is a tough choice. Like you said, if Jade finds a creature with it, then you can't negate it. You could
Okay.
maybe, yeah, okay. So we'll see the force, and you pitch the fire and ice, which seems not what you said at least,
Swank's
Aqua.
Swank's really great. Swonk wants to know neither of the 2 cards in Swank's hand do anything until he draws more lands. And he
Yeah,
is drawing lands.
it does draw at least
But
one, kind of banking on getting flooded. Technically, you could cast Sphinx for one. That's not exactly a good feeling moment. A 4 mana cantrip.
pretty bad. It's pretty bad.
Bone Crusher does get the Stomp out, I believe. Yeah,
Mhm.
so Stomp gets cast here, does 2 damage, and now it's an exile. And
Um,
we
if you
draw.
are Jade and that hit effect resolves, what are you looking for?
And the what resolves?
The Tainted Pact? What are you looking for?
Um, I don't know. That's tough. It's very tough when we have. I'll just drop the links to the lists into the chat for the viewers at home. But I don't know. That's tough because I feel like you know that Teferi's here and you know that Fire and Ice is here, so you probably get a creature, I think, because you know that they can't pact it, right? They can't or not pact a negation, force a
Okay,
negation.
so here are my thoughts. I'm going until I find a green source.
Yeah, that
I
makes
can cast
sense.
Renin 6, and Renin 6 either wins the game almost by itself,
It is one of those cards that
or
does that.
gets the
Yeah,
force negation.
yeah,
And if it gets the force negation, then I have the green source in play. I have my 5th mana source, and I get to flashback my Serene Reclamation,
yeah,
and then I'm winning.
yeah. That is a nice play. I didn't think about that one.
Funk is going to draw 1 card with extrapolation here.
Oh, that's so awful. That hurts so much. And
Pretty
then it's
bad.
another cantrip. So
Yeah, Jade did find the line of playing a 4/2 giant. Swonk would have been happy to
5-2, but
fire this, I think. Yeah, 5/2. But that is neither here nor there. I expect to see this Spell Queller flashed in as a blocker that trades and draws Jade 2 cards, which is pretty bad from Swonk already. But uh it'll get marched to Otherworldly Light at some point.
seeing a lot of Eldritch Moon cards today. More
Hey
than
now, it's a Midnight Hunt card.
Spell Queller?
Consider.
Oh, well, yeah. I'm always a big fan of cantrips. I miss,
Swonk says the card that he is thinking about is Dak Faden, which is pretty interesting here. Can
oh,
steal Mox Pearl, can steal Skull Clamp.
yeah.
Um,
Skull Clamp, stealing the Skull Clamp does...
it doesn't really do anything because it's still
It,
equipped to the giant until Swonk can move it to the
oh,
producer.
right. I forgot about that. Just stealing it just
Um,
changes the controller, but it doesn't
but
actually change what it's equipped to.
yeah, if the giant dies while Swonk has the Skull Clamp though, Swonk will draw 2 cards, not Jade.
Dak getting the Pearl, though, does mean Teferi is castable.
That's true.
And we will see the Dak get drawn. And immediately
And that
cast,
will be
yeah.
cast. I think I like taking the Pearl here more than taking the Skull Clamp. I guess Teferi next turn.
Yeah, I think taking the Pearl makes a lot more sense. Because yeah, like you mentioned, the Skull Clamp doesn't actually get put like on your side of the field or anything. It still stays on the giant. And you don't
If
really
you're
have a
Jade
way
here
of
and
killing
you
it.
you just want to draw a green source, or really any untapped land, channeling this Sokenzen is like
Or
really
confidant.
strong in this game state. Trick is pretty good. I'm definitely not upset to see that card.
No, I don't think you very rarely will you be. I mean, worst case scenario, you basically feed it to the Skull Clamp.
hmm I think I would like to play out the Sokenzen here as a land. March the Mox Pearl.
Oh, that makes a lot of sense
We can't get
because
that. It's
yeah,
very important.
Teferi is revealed,
This
and
line's really bad if Swonk draws a land, but if Swonk
e
draws a spell, it's very strong.
yeah,
And then Jade will play out the Dark Confidant and
yeah,
hold the Sokenzen. Yeah, looking to channel it. Swonk does find the land.
does find an island. It stings a little bit, yeah. If you're Jade, now
Teferi
Teferi
is
comes
not that
out.
great here though. It's gonna like tuck Bunker Giant maybe. Like if it pluses, it's like dead. If it minuses, it's
It's
going to die in
plus,
Jade's next
yeah.
turn.
It's a plus. It's just a 5 mana cantrip.
Mm-hmm. It is not as game winning as this card often is.
No, definitely not.
Jade reveals Lelia the Blade Reforged off the Dark Confidant trigger, and Swonk scoops it up.
Yeah. Game 3. So we have. Oh, I forgot
Cool.
to update the score, but we have game 3, which is always nice to see,
Yeah.
especially in a
And
format like
games like this is
Highlander.
why I love Highlander so much.
Oh yeah.
Like both games went very different and were very definitive. Um, Jade's going to be on a 6 here. This her hand doesn't have mana sources.
Swonk
Um,
has two
Swonk has
board
2
wipes.
Wraths
Yeah, that's
and a Wandering Emperor and 4 mana sources. Truly the definition of Jeskai control right here.
yeah,
Jade
that's
kept Jade's gonna get 6 cards here. I like this a lot. I'd bottom Fury, I think. Then you have Duress plus like turn 2 Stomp into like turn 3 Giant, maybe?
I think bottoming for Fury makes the most sense. The only thing you can pitch to it is Kolaghan's command
Well,
or
you
Bone
can hardcast
Crusher.
it at some point later in the game. But
Yeah, but do you really want to wait that long for Fury of all things?
Fury's pretty good.
It's
It's a
good,
3/3 double striker.
but if I'm gonna hard cast it, I'd rather hard cast Bone Crusher in this matchup at least.
Yeah, that's fair. Fury's just another threat, right? And Kolaghan's command is maybe a 2-for-1, but I think I would rather bottom Fury.
Yeah, I agree. And this is the first time Swonk gets to go first, right? I believe Jade started the first 2 games.
I believe that's correct, yes.
Swonk will go first. Just literally land drop past turn. The most
hmm
terrifying thing that you could see is a polluted delta and then a pass turn.
Well, now that we have Triumphs in the game, it's a lot less threatening.
That's true. Yeah.
It's often just Delta go and
I
instant fetch my Triumph.
I, I'm a little down on triumphs. I'll be honest. I think
That's
triumphs
fair.
are overrated. when it comes to non-5 color decks.
They make fetching on turn 1 free. You don't have to think about it.
Yeah.
Like, am I getting Valk here? Am I getting Plateau here? I'll just get a Rogren Tribe. I don't want to think about it.
that
So
that
this
is a
dress
good
is
point.
almost definitely going to take out the Wandering Emperor, which is Swank's only real threat right now,
Yes.
putting him firmly onto the control plan with Land Drop Go and
Land drop
Wrath of God
go.
effects.
Eventually, I will cast a Wrath, and you
Worth
will know
noting,
that it's
Jade
coming.
bottomed the Bunker Giant instead of the Fury,
Yeah.
so it looks like she does want to.
You could Fury the Wandering Emperor here if you want to get rid of one of the Wraths, but I don't see why.
I don't think. I think
I
you take
don't.
Wandering
I
Emperor.
was gonna say I don't think that's a better play here.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, Jade just takes the Wandering Emperor.
Yeah. They're sitting with 2 Wraths. You know you'll be able to cast them. You will eventually get to 4 mana to cast these, but
Mm-hmm. Let's see how JadeEmpress plays around 2 Wrath effects this game as a creature deck.
you see Fire and Ice get drawn here for Swonk.
Mm-hmm. Maybe Jade gets lucky and takes both him to Turok here.
Oh wow, yeah, him is so nice. Can't cast it till
Him's a
turn
really good
3
flip.
though.
You can play the Marsh Flats.
Scrubland. Oh, Scrubland, right, not Savannah. I don't know why I thought that was Savannah for some reason. Yeah, Scrubland, you could cast it if
Looks
you
like
played the
Jade's gonna
flats.
value playing 3-drop on curve more
Yeah.
highly. Which might not line up very well into this ice that Swonk has, but that's alright.
Raucous comes out. Pass turn, back to Jade. Shadow Spear. Not really particularly useful. Okay, I think we're gonna see him. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Into Torach. Torach? Torok?
Turok.
Torok. That sounds a lot better than Torach.
I agree.
You have the Tundra at random,
Okay, and one other
and one
Wrath.
of the Wraths. One
That's
Wrath
Swank's fourth
down.
land drop. I think now if I'm Swank, I want to cast this ice, to cycle it and draw a card to try hit my fourth land drop.
Yeah.
You might. There's an argument to flash the Brazen Borrower and put a clock into play, but I think I'd rather just cycle the ice at this point.
Yeah, I think Swonk, I mean, obviously Swonk not knowing Fury's in hand. It does still feel not great, though, right? Playing a 3-1 as your clock.
Not that bad. It's like
It's not the worst,
it's
but
often where Jeskai is, beating you down with the Brazen Borrower or a Snapcaster Mage,
yeah.
or I've been clocked by a Dreadhorde Arcanist over like 17 turns.
Yeah, oh man, that's the worst when you get killed just by a 1-1 of like hitting you over and over and you
It's a 1/3.
can't.
Don't knock it.
Well, I
It
mean,
blocks
but
Ragavan. It
I've
blocks
been
Ragavan.
killed. I've been killed by a 1-1. Just keep
Swank
swinging
did
at
not
you over like 6
cycle
turns.
the ice or cast the Brazen Borrower.
No, it gets a ponder
Opting to
though,
hold the
so
Petty Theft. Draws a Ponder.
yeah, petty theft, or fire and ice, both are castable from this,
Mm-hmm.
or spell pierce.
Shuffled means he likely didn't find a land or a mana source.
Ooh,
And
Deathrite
finds
Shaman.
Splitters, which lines up pretty well into the Skulligan's command, and pretty poorly into everything else.
Yeah, you could spell pierce the swift end on Murderous Rider.
There's no targets for it. What are you gonna Swift End? Like,
Well, I'm just saying it's possible. I'm not saying that you could
not from
do
this
it.
game state.
No, not from this game state. You did ever get a creature out, like Brazen Barrer. Oh, the Deathrite Shaman trying to dodge the Brazen Barrer petty theft.
The Smoke sprung Petty Theft in response to equipping Shadow Spear,
Yeah, so it does
and he found his
burn
fourth land,
burn the extra mana from Jade.
which matters a bit less here, but still done nonetheless. She draws a
Mishra's Bauble.
Mishra's Bauble.
Mishra's Bauble. It's basically Gitaxian Probe. It's not actually, but Doesn't stop me from hoping.
You can play Detection Probe in this format if you want to.
You can.
You could put that card in your deck.
And you should.
Um,
Absolutely should. Under every circumstance, put that card into your deck.
I don't know about that.
No, you don't think so?
I don't think it's a 99 card format. No.
Really? Okay.
hmm
I suppose you are. It's not like Commander where you have that extra life buffer. You are still at 20 life. And is the one thinning of the card? I don't know. I still think it's worth it to always play it. At least in most decks.
It's only really good in decks where you can make use of the information that you gain from it. Just being
Yeah.
2 life draw card isn't really very strong in this format.
No, but 2 life draw card show your opponent's hand is pretty nice. Uh okay, Brazen Bar is
Swonk,
getting
you're
cast now.
flashing and a Risen Arbor.
And Murderous
And
Rider to Swift end it. We don't see Spell Pierce because the Caracas is the only untapped land there.
Swonk just drew Ancestral Recall.
Yeah. Uh does
The
have
game
to
is ended.
pay, yeah, does have to pay 2 though for it.
The game is ended.
Brainstorm, Island, Serum Visions. Well, we'll see.
No, the game's over. It'll take a while, but this game is over.
Oh, that's Jace. I mean,
Haste also isn't that great here, though. It
yeah,
doesn't add a lot to what Swonk has going on. He's looking for a win condition primarily now.
Leaves are
Jade
gonna
looking to
try
second
him.
cast to Murder Shredder here.
Yeah, Murderous Rider comes out now. Lifelink is nice in most matchups, but pretty irrelevant in this.
Let's see Roy Celestial Colonnade. It's mattered.
Oh, Celestial Colonnade.
I expect to see Jace Fate Sealing here, I think.
Fate Seal. Yeah,
I
that,
don't think
I
you can
mean,
play anything else if you're Swonk. Brainstorming is okay.
I think, yeah, Jace is definitely coming out now.
hmm I'd like to see it plus. I don't think I will.
I mean, if we don't see the plus, Fury can take it out.
hmm Or equipping Shadow Spear plus attacking with Murder Shredder.
Uh, does
Yeah,
that do
Brainstorm.
enough? Yeah, it does do enough.
Swank's likely going to ice the Murder Shredder in response to the equip here, and then get matched with Fury.
Yeah, I think that makes most sense too, yeah. So, Snapcaster doesn't really have many target. Well, has Serum Visions, but you can't do Treasure Cruise with it.
Not yet.
Wow.
Swank's in no rush. I would be pretty shocked if Swank snapped a card other than Cryptic or Treasure Cruise in this game state.
Jade's turn. Look at the draw. Wooded Foothills.
That's pretty tempting. Now we're 1 land off Hardcasting Fury,
Yeah.
which might be enough to make Jade hold off.
Maybe you play it and then plan A, you equip Murderous Rider. Oh no,
I think plan A is cast Kolaghan's command.
well,
But Swank's going to ice down the Murder Strider so the Jace lives, and then I expect to see the Jace get Furied. Signups for the Brothers War Canadian Highlander League are currently live
ongoing,
and
and you
will be for
should.
about a week longer, I think.
Yes, I believe about a week more. I will just go ahead and drop that sign up sheet straight into Twitch chat. So you can just click this link. Make sure to join the Discord, obviously. And
Well, yeah, I was gonna
you,
show for our Discord website, but this works too.
yeah. I mean,
Here's our link.
I
Here's our
believe,
league.
yeah. You can
Format's great. Check it out.
please check out Canadian Highlander. It is so much fun. I played Storm last league, and it went like Storm does. It was very all over the place. Sometimes it went well, sometimes it went really well, and then most of the time it didn't go very well.
I'm playing Storm this season.
I'm thinking about
Winning on High Tide.
signing up with Storm again. I'm very tempted. Come
I'm gonna play
back with
High
a
Tide.
vengeance.
It's gonna be great. I look forward to it.
High Tide. What's the black High Tide?
Reign of Filth?
That sounds right. Tainted Pact. All right, now let me put it back on
Record
you.
Lands now.
What does
Oh,
Tainted
yeah.
Pact find here?
Um,
Or what would you pick? Not necessarily.
any 2-drop that impacts the board. Preferably run in 6.
Yeah, Ren and 6 would definitely impact the board.
Uh, Alternatively, it can find Savine's Reclamation, which isn't that bad. It's like a 3-for-1.
Ah, okay. So Fury gets cast here. Kills the Jace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
Colgan's
then
has to
we'll
get
see
pitched here.
which one get cost here, or we're putting Shadow Spear on the Murder Strider. Looks like equipping Shadow Spear.
We'll see. We do have the Triumph, and that could do either way.
Right, but you wouldn't fetch here if you weren't going to for Shadow Spear. If you were just gonna play Death Shaman, you just have to try with the special land and play, right?
Yeah. Yeah, because you want to leave it open at that point. Yeah, so you probably do. Oh, plateau. Targeting itself. Yep, Shadow
Yeah.
Spear going on Murderous Rider. Gets +1/+1 trample. Already has lifelink.
And then Swonk draws a Supreme Verdict that he put on top of this Brainstorm.
Our good old friend, Wrath.
Swonk puts his second red source, and is sitting here pretty comfortably under Cryptic Brainstorm Spell Pierce.
Definitely one of the controlliest hands that I've seen. Lots of blue.
I would be pretty impressed if Jade managed to win this game.
Yeah, I mean, you are at a significant card disadvantage, and you're, I would say, staring at a hand of all this, but Jade doesn't even know what's, coming. That's the worst of it.
Yeah. As soon as Swonk finds a win condition, the game should be wrapped up pretty quickly.
And Swonk has that brainstorm to try to find that win condition too. Like, it's not going to, if it's up there at all, Swonk can find
Well,
it.
there aren't many in the Jeskai control deck.
Yeah, it's pretty few and far between, and obviously Singleton makes that a lot harder. But you have
Hmm.
time.
There is a world where Swonk could lose to this Murderous Rider and these random other creatures.
Dragon's Rage Channeler is not going to feel good when, well, I guess it does feel good because you immediately have the delirium, right?
Wow, we're countering this with Cryptic? Swonk really wants to find a way to close this game. He seems to be scared um of the rider.
Yeah. So counters the death rate,
Oh,
draws a
you know what this
force.
is? This is playing a card to put it in the graveyard, so we can snap Traffickers next turn.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
It's pretty cool.
And then we've
I like
got
that a lot.
Dragon's Rage, which does have the delirium, I believe.
I expect to see him brainstorm here too
One, two,
then, if
three.
that's what he's doing. Yeah,
Yep, Rogren taps,
very nice.
brainstorm. No reason not to, really.
Ooh, another new card from the Brothers War. The Might
Like,
Stone and the Weak Stone.
melds with Urza, Lord Protector.
Yeah, it's a modal spell that either draws cards or kills a creature. It's practically always good,
Yeah,
but not good here apparently. Swonk doesn't
apparently
want
not.
it.
Interesting considering it could deal with that Murderous Rider, but because
True.
you have the Lightning Bolt, you hit Dragon's Rage Channeler, but then
I
you
think it will. I think
I'm surprised if you're Swonk, you don't just wait until your next turn and then Supreme Verdict, right?
Swonk's trying to put cards in the graveyard so that there's little cards. It's basically little mana to cast his treasure coast.
Yeah.
No, we're gonna play the March on Weakstone.
Oh,
We're
okay.
gonna kill the Murderous Rider, and the game's gonna be in this standstill that vastly favors Swonk.
Yes. Dismember, yeah, I mean that is basically the effect.
-5, -5.
Mystone is just a 5 mana dismember though, because we don't have any artifacts in hand to cast using that soul ring part of it.
Mm-hmm. It'll stick around. It might melt with Ursa later. You don't know anything.
They could.
It could. You have no idea. It'd be pretty cool.
I mean, I have some
That'd be a
idea.
pretty outstanding way to end our Highlander edition
It would
match.
be an extremely fascinating way to win is melding Mightstone and Weakstone with Urza. I really hope that happens now.
I look forward to it.
Whichever way this game goes, I hope I see meld in a Magic match. I don't think I've ever seen it happen, period, and I would be glad to see it in Canlander of all things.
Meld is pretty cool. Ragavan here is a pretty good draw from Jade. It might force Snapcaster Mage to block it. Oh,
Savines. What is that going to
yeah,
bring back? Oh, well, nothing.
nothing.
Yep, Spell Pierce. It's not going to bring back anything, but what do you think Savines brings back if it had resolved? Because I believe Savines was what got Tainted Pact for, right? So there must have been a whole game plan around that. Oh, 2 mana. Plains Hollowed Fountain. Not Plains Island. Okay. Easing us with something there. Either Snapcaster on turn or
Fifth land for Jade means that she gets to flashback her student equation here, which also won't resolve, but
yes, I was gonna say, and then
is
it gets Dovin's
something interesting
vetoed.
that she can do. Mm-hmm.
Raka's nice interaction with Ragavan. Just keep putting it back. Yep, Savines. Dovin's veto. Counter target non-creature spell. It's gonna go back to the graveyard.
It'll go into exile, actually.
Oh, will it?
Yep.
Hmm. I thought that what's it called? I didn't quite realize. Oh, but it still copies?
There are 2 copies of it. Yeah. When you flashback Savines and that entire cycle, um, you
Right. You copy
you
it
copy you have
when
to
you
go with them.
flashback it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Even though
So Storm here is pretty good,
yeah,
but
but otherwise,
Dovin's Veto, you might see Swung 2-for-1 himself to cast Force Negation and Dovin's Veto on the targets.
uh, but do you want that, or do you just
I
cast
don't think
Supreme
you hate it.
Verdict?
I think you let the one on the bobble resolve, and you take the one on the channeler, and you wind up and cast your Treasure Cruise.
Yeah. Channeler represents a clock, obviously.
Swonk doesn't care too much about a clock right now, but
Counter the bauble and let the Channeler resolve.
okay. So maybe Swonk is looking to 1-for-1 with Supreme Verdict here. Which, knowing Jade's last card is Ragavan isn't that bad.
Yeah. If Jade plays Ragavan, it doesn't matter. Caracas just permanently keeps that thing in hand.
That land draw was really huge. Now Swonk has enough mana to Supreme Verdict, Snap Treasure Cruise, and Told Caracas.
Okay, one. Yeah, I think that's what Swank's trying to do here.
And Swonk left with 3 more cards in his hand. A 2-1 in play. Oh, Mystic Sanctuary. Very
That
cool.
is nice.
Alright, this works too.
Puts Cryptic back on top. Okay.
Now Swonk has a pseudo loop of um, bounce Sanctuary with Cryptic, counter a spell.
Right.
Play Sanctuary, put Cryptic on top.
And
Right?
when you have all this mana, you can just get away with that too. And just keep putting it back on top.
So if you draw every turn as Cryptic Command, or every other turn as Cryptic Command, your opponent can't resolve a spell unless they hold spells, so they have 2 or 3 in a turn.
Which would take Jade a bit to get to.
And spells like this Forked Bolt, Strew, don't impact the board enough to be.
Yeah, the Cryptic isn't even going to be bothered coming out for that. Alright, Shadow Spear goes on the Channeler. Swonk seeming to have forgotten about the Channeler. Alright, Snapcaster. Fire Ice is going to be Snapcaster's target here rather than the Treasure Cruise, but we can bounce it with the Cryptic Command if we wanted. Although that does shut off our Mystic Bounce, right?
What's going to Snap Ice?
Oh, don't do that.
Gets Ice, Swonk draws its Cryptic Command. And then Jade Fork bolts the Snapcaster Mage.
Nope, Forkbolt can't target itself. Yeah, hits Snapcaster and then one to face. Yep. Yeah, I was gonna say, does Cryptic come out and does it bounce Snapcaster or does it bounce Sanctuary? And it bounces
Yeah,
Sanctuary.
this is what I was talking about, where there isn't a lot Jade can do now. Swonk put Cryptic back on top with Sanctuary again on his next turn.
Yep, good game.
And Jade is scooping it up.
Yeah, I mean, it would be basically impossible to win, right? At that point.
Yeah. You actually have some really nice draws from here on out. You could draw a 4-mana creature that takes over the game, like one that gives you the Monarchy. You could draw like Queen Marchesa, would be, or Palace Jailer, are the outs in the deck.
Just updating the score here. So Swonk wins 2-1. Um, despite the fact that Swonk, I believe, only started or Swonk only started one of those games, right? Jade started the other two.
Yeah.
Not that, not that in control you need to have the go first, especially on that one hand that Swonk kept with just board wipes. Although getting the land drop in first does definitely help. I think it's kind of interesting. We didn't see too many cards that I feel like are kind of big slam dunks from either of these decks. You know, we just sort of had. I mean, Cryptic Command obviously with that loop uh was great, but I think other than that, we didn't have any casts that were, I don't know, like game-ending threats or something. I mean, we definitely didn't see young Pyromancer like we or well,
Yeah.
like Jade had hoped.
Our players might have another game or another match in store for us. We'll find out soon.
That'd be good.
It looks like they do. Oh, Jade wants to go to bed.
I don't blame anybody for wanting to go to bed. I felt like that all day.
That's fair. All right, that's it
Yeah.
for our stream today. Thanks for tuning in.
Thank
It
you
was fun.
all for coming out to watch our Canlander exhibition match. If you
Yeah.
do want to check out Canadian Highlander, please be sure to sign up using the form linked in chat. Excellent
Mhm.
format. It is it is such a nice change of pace from the other 60 card 1v1 formats. If nothing
Yeah.
else, it's
We
just so
also
nice.
have signups live for, I believe, Pioneer signups closed today, and we have Legacy signups up too for another. Come didn't tell us for like a week or so. Figure it out.
For some amount of time. Probably so some amount of time. Yeah, I think Legacy's still open until the 28th, so you have until I believe Thanksgiving is the cutoff there. No,
We're good
because thanks,
streamers.
yeah, we're good streamers. We know all
We're
of
great
this.
streamers.
The best.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Legacy signups close the 28th. Team Series is up, I believe, too.
Yeah, that's true. That
Yes.
closes pretty soon.
Yeah, that closes today or tomorrow. It says
Mhm.
21st at noon. So depending on time, your time zone, you got to get that in like soon. And yes, Pioneer closes tonight in 3 hours. So you got
Yeah.
2 hours 45 to figure out a deck list and get that submitted if you want to join Pioneer. Other than
We have
that,
about a week left for Canlander. I think we're streaming I want to say modern match later this week, but I'm not sure about that.
yeah,
So we'll see.
we'll have to see how it goes. But do expect another stream this week. If nobody else can do it, I'll make sure it gets done.
See you
Because
then.
this is so much fun. Yeah, see you all there. Have a good one.
Bye.